Fede Legrand. He's got so much love.
So much love.
How about you, Gav?
I got tons of love.
I'm feeling a lot of love in this room.
Hug it out.
No, don't touch me.
Nope.
Don't touch me.
But loving
Okay,
you.
I've got that taser and I will use it. Anyway.
Ooh, promises.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Movie Groove.
Welcome to Movie Groove.
My name's Alister Lockhart, and sitting across the desk is Gavalanche.
Hello.
You're listening to Energy Groove Radio, transmitting live from Sydney, Australia, and all around the world. Movie Groove, it's what's on screen. We always like to start each and every show with entertainment and movie news from around the world and all around the galaxy. This is the bit we call Episode 5, A News Hope. Still haven't got a musical sting.
No.
Go on then.
Ba, 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 ba.
That's perfect. That is just what I was after. So, in this week in entertainment news, our friend Terry Gilliam, everybody's favourite directorial weirdo, has revealed this week that he'll be going back into production on his ill-fated, decades-in-the-making production, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
I am Don Quixote.
No, you're not.
Oh.
He's on a horse. He's got a horse. You don't have a horse. No horse, Gav.
Mr. Ed. There's Francis the Talking Mule.
We're getting off the track again.
Oh.
Anyway, his previous and disastrous attempt to bring the classic and many say unfilmable novel to the screen is detailed in the documentary Lost in La Mancha, in which a string of unforeseen calamities brings that production to its knees within days of the start, including a soundstage built in an echoey tin shed, the destruction of the entire first unit's equipment on day 2 after being washed away in a flash flood, and star Jean Rochefort suffering a double herniated disc, making it impossible for him to sit on the horse, which does make it a little bit difficult to do Don Quixote if your star can't actually sit on the horse. In any case, it looks like Gilliam has got his script back from the insurance company. He had to, the insurance company confiscated it as part of the deal last time.
Really?
And so, yeah, because the insurance, they had to pay out big time because everything just got destroyed and nobody got paid and the film didn't get made. So he had to buy the script back from the insurance company, and now he says that shooting begins in September in the Canary Islands, and if his luck holds this time, we might just get a movie out of this. You like Gilliam movies?
I love Gilliam movies.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know, they're patchy for me.
Oh,
some of them are good and some of them are...
12 Monkeys?
That's a good one.
Brilliant.
Okay.
That converted me to Brad Pitt. Before I thought, yeah, this guy's just a schmo, pretty boy. 12 Monkeys, when he's playing that nutso job. Get out of my chair, get out of my chair.
Yeah, as a performance, it's a bit sort of, hey, look at me, I'm Brad Pitt, look at me.
No, I liked him. He was nuts.
Yeah.
Good nuts.
No, it was good. That's one of my favourites. And then there's Baron von Munchausen.
Munchausen. I saw that with my mum on my birthday years and years ago when it came out.
Yeah.
I still don't understand it.
No, me neither. I was so excited. Yeah, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it isn't. Oh, well, there's Uma Thurman naked. I'll take it.
Hey. No, I didn't get it. I'll have to see it again. I mean, I was pretty young at the time.
Yeah. Anyway, in other entertainment news, the new Guardians of the Galaxy trailer hit yesterday, or was it today, promising lots of very expensive CGI and inspiring a great many geek boners all around the world. The movie is not going to be released for some time, so blue balls for the nerds. Although earlier reports indicate that no one who actually has a girlfriend will be affected.
It looks a bit silly, funny. I mean, there are possibly good CGI bits in there.
Yeah, the CGI looks okay.
It looked a bit flippant as well, though. It's like, hey, we're goofy superheroes, and,
That's one of the Marvel comics that I haven't read,
Yes.
so I've got no idea what the tone of the comic was. But, yeah, there's a character in it called Adam Warlock, who, fittingly for our religiosity edition of Movie Groove today, was based on the story of Christ. His name was Adam Warlock, and then when he first appeared in the comic, he was simply known as Him. So, but I don't think he's actually in this movie. We've got Rocket Raccoon, who's a raccoon.
Yeah, Warlock's in it. No, what's his name?
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord, that's it.
Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, we've got Gamora, Drax the Destroyer, and Groot, who's a big treat. DC Comics, they keep complaining that they can't get the look of Wonder Woman right.
Right.
This is a raccoon.
Oh.
There's also, it's a raccoon. They managed to get the look right on that, and this is it's just Wonder Woman. I mean, did you see the TV show version they did with
of Wonder Woman?
Yeah, they were gonna the guy who did Ally McBeal. He was a producer behind the ill-fated attempt to get Wonder Woman on television screens, and she was going to be like a professional power girl.
Yes.
And then in the evening she was going to go out and kick butt as Wonder Woman, and the costume that they made for her looked like the kind of costume you'd get if you ordered a stripper as Wonder Woman.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, not good.
Wasn't that Australian model supposed to play Wonder Woman?
Megan Gale.
Megan Gale.
She would have been a great Wonder Woman if she could act.
She was up for it, said the bishop.
What about the movie?
Yeah, well, the movie's a different thing. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Hey! Tip the veal. Try your waitress. Well, thank you. Well earned that one.
You see how quickly this just degenerated into a cheesy sound effects show?
It's a cheese.
It's a wacky sound effects show. Hey, coming at you. It's going out in the wacky zone. Anyway, we're not going to go into the wacky zone. I apologize for that.
Highway to
Don't sing. Don't sing. I can turn your mic off from here.
I'll air guitar it.
Don't do it.
I'm going to mime again.
Box office news. The Lego movie has dominated the box office now for 2 weeks running.
Rightly so.
Taking nearly 150 mil in it, against its 60 mil budget, easily besting its nearest competition, the remake of Rom-Com About Last Night and the remake of Robocop, the latter doing a dismal 25 mil on its opening across Valentine's Day weekend. So again, the clear message is nerds don't have girlfriends. Also, nobody gives a toss about Clooney's mild bunch of the Monuments Men, despite the involvement of demigod Bill Murray, because basically,
it looks a bit of a fizzler, actually.
Yeah.
Good cast. I mean, Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Is there Matt Damon is in it? Yeah. Matt Damon. You got John Goodman.
There's lots of old men. They have the obligatory training montage where the old men complain about being, and I quote, too old for this shit.
I'm too old for this shit.
And then, yeah.
No.
So
good cast, but I think it just
I don't know. Nobody's going. Anyway, Disney's smash hit Frozen is but a stone's throw away from making its first billion, making it the highest grossing animated original in history.
Ever. A billion.
The highest grossing in history. And it'll probably go higher than that as well. Wow. So, and it's quite a good movie. So, not one, but two Disney princesses, so that doubles the budget this Christmas. Wasn't my fault. Douchebag news.
Douchebag news.
And it looks like celebrity snot-nosed shitbag Justin Bieber is up to his old tricks, and you know what? I just don't care at this point.
Nah.
If you're listening, Justin, die in a fire.
In a fire of hemp smoke.
He went for a plane ride, and apparently he was being really abusive and everything, and they smoked so much dope that it actually started to seep into the pressure-controlled cabin of the private jet. So this
Dutch oven in the...
Check us out. Yeah, they were having a Dutch oven in the
10,000
cockpit.
feet.
And so the pilots actually had to put their oxygen masks on so they didn't get a contact high.
Really?
And a positive return on their next drug test, because pilots get drug tested all the time.
Of
so
course.
They got, and the cops, apparently when they landed, the cops searched the plane, but they couldn't find any drugs because they'd smoked it.
Nothing but a whole bunch of roaches.
Yeah.
Butts in the ashtray.
They probably scraped the bong as well. It was just a foul smell coming out in the microwave and nothing else.
Dutch oven at 20,000 feet. Oh, God.
Really,
is that what he did?
That is a great title for a movie. Dutch oven at 20,000 feet.
Only one man can stop them. 6 hippies take over a plane.
Starring Willie Nelson and Snoop Dogg.
As
Yow, 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 yow.
Yo, we're flying to Tangiers, MF. You got that right? One man steps up. Put down that bong, hippie.
Anyway, I think it's going to be a while before we see that movie. But that's it for News Hope for this week. And when it comes to news, this source will be with you. Always. Jessie J with Magnetic. Who's Jessie J?
I think it's a relation of Jesse James.
Okay, that's a bit of a stretch. Is it a reality thing? I don't know.
No.
If you know who Jessie J is, why don't you hit us up on Twitter? Every week I've been asking somebody to hit us up on Twitter. If you do it today, then you will be the first. It's Al's Movie Groove, all one word with a capital A.
When you sell $5 cold hard cash. That's right. Cash will not be payable.
Cash will not be made available.
Cold hard cash.
Anyway, you're listening to Movie Groove with Alister Lockhart and Gavalanche. We are transmitting live from Sydney, Australia, and all around the world here on Energy Groove Radio. Right now we're going to do this segment of the show where we have a look at what's opening in theatres in Australia and all around the world. This is Opening Scene.
Opening Scene.
That is gold.
You like it?
Yeah, I've got that on the tape. I'll put some backing music to it, and
some French horns.
I'll need you to sign a release for me.
Okay.
All right. So, 3 Days to Kill is the new movie out from Kevin Costner, apparently buoyed by Liam Neeson's success and reinventing himself as a 60s action star. As an action star in his 60s. Kevin Costner stars in this tale of a Secret Service agent in a beat-the-clock scenario in Paris. It's always Paris. While trying to hang out with his daughter, who thinks he's an ordinary businessman because we all know movie teenagers have the IQ of a phone battery. Costner peaked early with the Best Picture Oscar as producer, director, and star of 1991's Dances with Wolves, and has been farting out dull, mawkish Americana ever since. Did you see Wyatt Earp?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dull, mawkish Americana. Costner has resisted the temptation to get plastic surgery so far, so with the effects of age, that gives the illusion that he's actually learned a second facial expression. 3 Days to Kill is opening this week around the world. Also opening this week, we've got Pompeii. That's right. Kit Harington, notably playing Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, and also for being the only boring aspect of that show. He's dull as dishwater.
That's not how you do it, Jon Snow.
Interesting character, but yeah, and that girl as well, the redhead. The both of them, neither one of them can act. You know nothing, Jon Snow. All right, so the wildlings, right, they're north of the wall, right, and all of them wear tons of fur and skins all over them. Mm-hmm. There's no animals. Where do they get the skins?
Well, there's none left. They're all hand-me-downs, those furs.
You got any new clothes? No. You see that guy there? He was last in line.
Yeah, that was your brother's fur. You got to wear that now. Mom, I gotta get a new fur. No, you got to wear your brother's fur.
Can we wash it? Do you see any water here?
That's right.
It's all frozen. Do you want a cup of tea? Ding, ding. Anyway, he stars in this quasi-historical disaster pic about the ancient Roman city buried by ash after the eruption of nearby Mount Vesuvius, circa 220 AD. The film was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, the director who gave us the dud Resident Evil series. You saw that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no, zombies, Mila Jovovich. No. And the utterly disposable Aliens versus Predator.
Oh, God, that was such a disappointment.
Oh, yeah.
I was all ready for it. Yeah, let's go, Aliens versus Predators. Yeah.
After all this time, I don't know exactly what we expect.
Everyone lost in that one.
So there's they announced today also that they've cast Kyle Reese in the upcoming Terminator franchise reboot. I don't know, it's a reboot, it's a continuation. Like I said, at this point, who gives a shit? It's all garbage. So they've got Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney.
Yeah.
Who?
Precisely.
Who?
Precisely, Jai Courtney. Even if you knew who he was, you would still say, who? The least descript actor on the face of the planet. You don't know him from the latest Die Hard movie because you didn't notice him even when he was on screen.
Right.
You don't know him from Jack Reacher. He's going to be Kyle Reese. So, presumably he's going to be even more robotic than Arnold Schwarzenegger in that one.
That's a tough gig to follow.
In any case. Yeah, so I don't know what it is that us aging nerds are expecting from these reboots. They're not making them for us.
Reboot? Just give it the boot.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh.
Come on, you deserve that.
I'm walking on landmines. Oh.
That's actually quite good. Anyway.
It don't feel good.
Pompeii promises unconvincing green screen acting and middling CGI in a story dug from a backlot Portaloo. Crows before hoes, yo.
Crows before hoes.
Anyway, we've also got opening this week Almost Human, which looks like the most interesting thing on the menu. Not to be confused with the hit Carl Urban TV show that recycles the premise of 90s sci-fi letdown Alien Nation. Look it up. Almost Human is an indie sci-fi horror about a backwoods good old boy who returns to Earth after being abducted by a UFO.
Yeah, sure.
And implanted with a bright and shiny new alien symbiote and a fondness for axe murder. So early reviews indicate it'll be better than it sounds. I bet it's got bubes.
Hang on, so what? They pick up a hillbilly.
They kidnap a hillbilly.
Aliens come down to Earth. We will get the hillbilly.
No,
beam him up.
He just disappears into the sky after a flash of light, and then later on he comes back, and they're going like, where have you been, Billy Bob? Fishing.
For 20-odd years.
Funnily enough, he meant nuclear fission. Thank you.
That's like school on Saturday. No class.
Yeah, that's... We're sorry about this, listeners.
I'm not.
Anyway, early reports indicate that it'll be better than it sounds, which is good because plot-wise they haven't so much as stuck to the formula as scraped the test tube in the hope that there may be some crusty formula still stuck to the sides.
Yeah, still in the petri dish.
All right, that was Alicia Keys with... I don't know what the hell that was.
Noise. Oh, she's done some good stuff.
I'm going to take your word for it. You're listening to Movie Groove on Energy Groove Radio. We're transmitting live from Sydney, Australia, and all across the world. Live. You're in the studio with Alister Lockhart and Gavalanche.
Gavalanche.
Hopefully you're feeling funky tonight.
Do you feel funky, punk? Well, do you?
Movie Groove, it's what's on screen. Each week, we breach the veil between worlds as we look at events of the future in theaters across the globe through the terrifying wormhole of the event horizon.
Horizon.
Yeah, that's gold.
Silver.
So Easter is upon us, and hey, there's a lot of movies this year in theaters for the faithful. So if you're a believer, you might want to trip along and see Son of God. This is opening in the next couple of weeks, and it's the story of Jesus himself, starring hot young thing Diogo Morgado as the young prophet who claimed to be the Son of God and whose revolutionary acts, such as the cleansing of the temple and his condemnation of the woes of the Pharisees, the woes of the Pharisees. Basically, he just means there's 7 woes. He went in and said, you're hypocrites, you're liars. In Jerusalem, according to Matthew, anyway, Luke's gospel puts it in a different spot in the timeline, but nevertheless, this led to his execution by crucifixion. Ooh, massive spoiler.
That's gotta hurt.
I'm so sorry. Oh, wow. We're going to get letters about that. The definition of dick. He spoiled the ending of the movie.
Hell of a way to spend Easter.
I'm really sorry about that, kids. Yes, if you didn't know it, yeah, Jesus dies at the end.
Dies in the end?
I know,
Man.
and it's...
How did that test with the movie audience?
If you're sticking to the faithful are like comic geeks.
Right.
They as long as you don't mess with the canon, everything's okay. Did you ever see Prince of Egypt?
I think not.
Right. Okay. So Prince of Egypt was the story of Moses, and it's a great movie. It's by DreamWorks Animation, all-star cast, and Val Kilmer. It's got Ralph Fiennes and Sandy Bullock and Jeff. Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
Jeff Goldblum. It's like he's in the room.
I did see Prince of Egypt. Yes.
So yeah, and it's an awesome movie, but it didn't do well in the States because unbelievers went like, well, I'm not going to go and see that because God, and believers didn't like it because it messed with the canon. They were like, well, hang on, Moses didn't go back to Egypt until he was like 80 years old, and this kid is obviously 30.
Yeah.
This is
Botox.
So it's the same with Man of Steel. Oh, Superman wouldn't do that. They just don't like you messing with the story.
Fair enough.
They're all superheroes. So it seems like a downer ending, but on his death, his disciples, who are now recognized as the world's very first spin doctors, insisted that he meant to do that.
He did. He meant to do that.
And later, when they couldn't find his body, they said he meant to do that too.
That's right. Oops. Where'd we put the body? Is this the right spot? Oh, he meant.
So he meant to do that. He's been taken up. Has he?
He
Yes.
truly is the King of Kings.
Is that the line from?
Yeah.
Truly, he was the King of Kings.
That sounds like John Wayne.
Yeah, that was John Wayne's big line in it. Apparently, the director made him do the line like 80 times because he was going like, he's just. And then they made him play Genghis Khan. My God.
That was a beaut. It's a great choice.
One of the worst movies ever made.
John Wayne is Genghis Khan.
Back to JC, the greatest superhero of them all. The movie was originally made for TV, but unusually for an earnest retelling of the life of Jesus, it turned out to be good. So it's been filled out with better special effects and edited down from its original running time, and it's got a score, of course, by one Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
I didn't bring in my bois. So that guy, Hans Zimmer, is the bois guy. And always with the JC movie, there's been some controversy around this one, but not the kind that you'd expect. This one is faithful friendly, So if you're a believer, you're going to enjoy this one. It's it's the Jesus that we all know and love. There's no controversy about blasphemy. Jesus doesn't have sex with anybody like Scorsese's Jesus did. Willem Dafoe.
Last Temptation.
Willem Dafoe is Jesus Christ.
I preferred him as the Goblin.
Now blessed are the meek, for they shall have the earth for it. And where's everybody going? Give me another cigarette. There's no blatant Jew bashing like Mel Gibson did, so there's a relief. And unlike Man of Steel, which is an altogether more fanciful Christ story, it sticks to the canon, as I said. So the faithful are getting a better deal than the comic geeks on this one.
Right.
The controversy on this one is that this time a scene featuring the devil had to be cut because the actor playing the old deceiver bore a striking resemblance to U.S. President Barack Obama.
What? Okay. He looked like Barack Obama.
Yeah. For it is written that you will bow down before me and worship me. You know that bit in the Bible. He says to Jesus, check out all this gear here. All this will be yours, and all you have to do is kiss my arse. And Jesus, of course, goes, yeah, you get thee behind me.
And kiss
you
mine.
Deceiver, you, my old man, already owns all this stuff. You'll be kissing mine. So, anyway, they've cut that bit out, which is a bit of a shame. It's my favourite bit of the story. Producer Mark Burnett announced this week that old Nick has been consigned to the cutting room floor, which is no bad thing, really. Mark Burnett is the man who gave us 15 years of the Survivor series. So it looks like he's working on getting into heaven. But
long way to go, buddy.
Yeah, no doubt for turning his back on the deal he made with the Dark Lord, he'll be bursting into flames anytime soon. So have you got a favourite Bible movie, Gab?
I like the Jesus Christ Superstar, the musical.
Oh yeah, with Ted Neely.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. Well, I've got a wee list here. Okay. Other actors who've played JC. We've got Jim Caviezel, who was in The Passion of the Christ of 2004, which was a massive worldwide hit for Mel Gibson. Entirely spoken in Aramaic, if you've ever seen it.
Yes.
So a buddy of mine, a good friend of mine, an old friend, Jason Jordan. If you're out there listening, Jason, I still love you, man. Who's a seriously devoted believer. He loves him some Jesus. He described it as basically a guy getting the shit kicked out of him for 2 hours.
You kind of was. Well, Mel Gibson films are like that, though.
It kind of feels like that if you're in the audience as well.
Yes.
So during the filming of the Sermon on the Mount, Caviezel was actually struck by lightning.
What?
He was struck by lightning. I don't know. Some people say it was a publicity stunt because the camera panned to him and he had like this Don King haircut. And you hear Mel on the soundtrack go, "What the hell happened to his hair?"
Yeah. Got struck by lightning.
He got struck by lightning. It actually happened to two people, Caviezel and another guy who got struck twice because they were out during thunderstorm conditions on the top of a bare mountain, and everybody was holding like boom mics and they've got cameras and stuff like that. So what did they suppose was going to happen?
So they're on the top of a mountain filming during a
thunderstorm. So, some say a sign from God. I say a sign they should have filmed it later and added the storm in post.
Yeah, what the... Just go up there with a big lightning rod or a kite or something.
Realism, man. Anyway, so God signaling his approval, his disapproval. There's no way to tell. The big man himself is fairly vague on the details, classically.
The big woman, you mean?
Christian Bale has also been Jesus in a movie called Mary, Mother of Jesus from 1999, which was a middling TV movie focusing on the Virgin. Although she didn't die a virgin, again a subject of dispute, but the Gospels of Mark and Matthew do name Christ's brothers, and they name their brothers, and there's like a passing mention of some sisters as well. So it seems like she warmed up to Papa Joe eventually. Yes. But Catholic dogma states that those references to brothers and sisters were just references to close friends and family, and that she was indeed unsullied when she ascended. But the ascension is an assumption by a pope in like the 1300s or something. It's all very complicated.
Kind of.
Yeah, I know.
I'll just read the comic book.
Mom, I gotta go out and do a sermon on the mountain, Mom.
You gonna wear that costume?
I like this costume, Mom.
Not dressed like that, you're not. No, son of mine's going out like that.
Take the cowl off, okay? You're not wearing the black cape with the scalloping, okay? Just wear your normal clothes.
Okay, Mom.
Bat Christ. Willem Dafoe. Anyway, Willem Dafoe in The Last Temptation of Christ from 1988, which is the only Scorsese movie to get a Razzie nomination. This is the one where Jesus had sex with Mary Magdalene, which caused French followers of the Prince of Peace to firebomb cinemas, causing dozens of injuries and one death.
Firebomb a cinema.
Yeah, so
don't like the movie, you're gonna firebomb it.
I might need to read my Bible again. I missed a subclause that allows summary murder as a form of film critique.
That's nuts. That's psycho.
What are you going to do? So for those who haven't seen it in the movie, it runs through the Jesus story, which we all know well. We all know how it goes. And then he gets crucified. And in this movie, a little angel appears to him and says, "Oh, come on, you're the Son of God. He wouldn't leave you up there. You've passed the test. Down you come." And then in a brief sort of a montage, he has a life. Him and Mary have children together, and he's an old man. And then one day his old buddy Peter turns up and says, "What are you doing here? You were supposed to die on the cross." And he was like, "No, God came to me with a little angel."
No.
And God came to you in the form of a little angel.
Didn't you get my fax?
Yeah. And he said I could come down. And he points to the little angel who's been hanging out all this time and says, "What, this thing?" And he looks and it's actually a devil. And the devil says, "Ha, see, I told you I'd get you."
Los Diablos. I'm the devil. I love metal.
That's
Oh, he does.
So yeah, and then time reverts and he finds himself back on the cross and he goes, well, brilliant. And then that's where the movie ends. So it was all a dream. The worst plot device.
Worst
in that,
plot device
and then
ever.
the camera pans to Bobby Ewing in the shower and he turns around and goes, good morning. And that's the end of the movie. So actually something miraculous happened in that one as well. There's a bit at the end where at the moment Jesus dies, there's a whiteout on the film because apparently the camera was faulty and light had leaked in and caused the film to just overexpose.
Really?
And it was a complete accident, but they left it in the cut of the film anyway. So, miracle or faulty equipment? You be the judge.
Miracle.
Or perhaps you shouldn't judge because, judge not lest you be judged.
I'm judging.
The rules and regs on this are a tightrope, man, I tell you.
Yeah, pretty much. Get yourself sorted, Bible. Sheesh.
Yeah, I know. Robert Powell in Jesus of Nazareth, 1977. Powell was Richard Hannay in the 78 remake of The 39 Steps and Captain Walker and Tommy. But Franco Zeffirelli considered both Dustin Hoffman and Al Pacino for the part of Jesus.
Dustin Hoffman and/or Al Pacino
for the part of Jesus.
What?
So definitely the meek definitely gonna hurt the earth. Yeah, yeah, definitely gonna. Yeah, of course, it's almost time for Wagner. Yeah. Max von Sydow in The Greatest Story Ever Told. Yes, I am the Dutch Jesus.
He wasn't too bad, actually.
Yes, I know.
Maxie boy.
I've seen the movie.
You sound like Sean Connery there, though.
No, it's the same thing, but with a Scottish accent. Right. Every Scotsman can do Sean Connery. It's a piece of pish. Gavin, you're a shite for sure, eyes. During filming, the first snowstorm ever to strike Arizona in decades, since records began apparently, buried the whole Jerusalem set and several hundred cast and crew had to dig the entire thing out. And when they were done, it snowed again, even harder than before, so they had to move the whole production inside. Miracle or unseasonable weather? And of course, your favourite, Ted Neely in Jesus Christ Superstar from 1973. Ted Neely's actually played... he's played JC in Jesus Christ Superstar on stage for 40 years. So,
wow.
that's
like
staying,
a Moses routine.
That's staying true to a role. He has had film appearances, but, Second Henchman and all that kind of stuff. He recently appeared as a tracker in Django Unchained. But one young actor who auditioned for the part of Jesus, a 17-year-old actor from New Jersey called John Travolta.
Hey.
Yeah, so...
hey,
the son of God.
Son of God.
I'm the son of God.
It's gonna be great.
The producer would cast Travolta as the lead in his next big movie, which was Saturday Night Fever in 1977, which made Travolta
good choice,
a massive star. And if you've ever seen that one, it's not the happy movie that you would expect. It's actually really depressing.
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, no, have you never seen it?
Yeah,
It's
first time I ever saw people having sex. Oh, yes. I saw it in 77.
I just remember it was the first time I heard the voice of Fran Drescher.
Oh.
So, go back and say a very young Fran Drescher.
The nanny.
Yeah. She going, yeah. Oh, Tony, don't go home with that girl. My ears are bleeding already.
Yeah. That was a great movie.
So, have you got a friend in Jesus, Gav?
Yeah.
Currently?
He never calls and...
Free to see other people?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. That's one that I haven't heard in a while, and there's a reason.
It's a great song.
Okay.
1983.
No, there's
started the whole rap explosion.
I'm not going to argue.
You better argue.
If you love that song, and I love you too.
I love that song.
Just keep it down.
I'm going to marry that song.
Okay. Anyway,
what is
we're
that?
still talking about Super Jews. Movie news about Super Jews we're doing tonight. Rusty Crowe will be hitting the big screen this year as a titular hard-drinking, God-bothering floating zoo captain, Noah. Directed by Requiem for a Dream's Darren Aronofsky. Did you see Requiem for a Dream?
I think I did, but Russell Crowe playing Noah.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Dear Lord, we thank you for advising us to put the lions in with the unicorns. So on the plus side, the lions aren't hungry anymore. On my order, clean out the penguin cage. It's a nightmare in there.
Rusty.
Anyway, so if you've seen Requiem for a Dream, if you've seen that nihilistic junkie's fever dream torture porn endurance test, you'll be hoping for something a little bit more cheerful, like The Exorcist, for example. Russ, a man whose ego is so big that when he comes around to eat, you get forewarned by a visit from the Silver Surfer. That's one for the comic geeks up there. He just loves to play an epic quasi-historical paternal hero over us. He's been Gladiator. I bet he is. Robin Hood, Captain Jack Aubrey in Master and Commander. And of course, in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, he starred as Superman's dad, Jor-El, reimagined as a ridiculous Deus Ex Machina with a girl's haircut.
And how could you replace Brando? He's trying to...
You don't replace Brando, it's just not something that happens. Yeah. Anyway, we've got a wee clip here.
What did he say?
He's going to destroy the world.
My father said that one day, if man continued in his ways, the Creator would annihilate this world.
Can it not be averted?
He speaks to you. You must trust that he speaks in a way that you can understand.
I saw water. Death by water. And I saw new life. A great flood is coming. We build a vessel to survive the storm. We build an ark.
Mama! What is it? Oh, them!
What do you want?
You don't know your king.
There isn't anything for you here.
I have men at my back, and you stand alone and defy me?
I'm not alone.
I'm not alone.
No, not with God at your back, baby.
You gotta build an ark.
That was Ray Winstone as, I don't know, some evil dude.
Yeah, you're not going off in that boat, are you? Or not having that. I want my men on that boat, not all those animals.
Yeah.
I'm a right bleeding bastard. I'm Ray Winstone. Apples and pears, whoop-de-doo.
Anyway, so that's Noah. Again, very faith-friendly. I think you'll enjoy that if you trip along and see it, believers. And also, there's a lot of Easter movies coming out here for people who feel the faith. Heaven is for Real is a new movie that's coming out pretty soon.
Real?
Starring Greg Kinnear, who he's a devoutly Christian man whose kid has complications during a routine surgery. And survives, but like a really close call. Everybody thinks he's going to die, and the family gets around and has a pray. And he pulls out. And then afterwards, the boy claims to have met his other sister in heaven, who died before he was born, and so she miscarried, and he met her while he was in heaven. So he comes back with all these stories of stuff that he couldn't possibly know. And this revelation is taken by his family as an undeniable confirmation of the reality of the afterlife and an affirmation of their faith, which is nice. The film is based on a best-selling book by a real-life kid and his real-life father, although apparently it's somewhat embellished from the source so that it's a little more incredible than it actually is. So, inspiring if you believe, and easily rationalized if, like me, you live in a godless universe. The film has inspired some lively debate online, and by lively debate, of course, I mean this. Seriously, if you go to the trailer on YouTube and you look at the comments, it's just there's some desperately childish invective.
Yep.
And mudslinging from both sides.
They're all a bunch of siggy butt brains.
So if you're interested in going, reading the comments of people that A, you agree with entirely, and B, you don't agree with at all, then YouTube is a place for you. YouTube, it's the toilet wall of the internet. Also coming up in Movies for Believers, Left Behind, which was originally a best-selling series of books about the tribulations. This is the 7-year period of chaos after the rapture has taken all the Christians to heaven and everyone else is left behind. In 2000, a straight-to-DVD release starring Kirk Cameron, formerly of Growing Pains, if you remember that show from the 80s, the Family Ties knockoff that made him a star. In the movie, Cameron plays a journalist called Buck Williams. He's one man whose family ascend without him, and realizing God is real, he sets out to stop a plot to bankrupt the UN, masterminded by the UN's Secretary-General Nikolai Carpathia, you see what they did there, who is in reality none other than the Antichrist himself. So, in the guise of the peacemaker, old Nick executes a plot to plunge mankind into 7 years of darkness. This was originally intended as a trilogy of movies, but the movie, despite the best efforts of those involved, isn't very good. In any case, there's going to be a major studio release based on the material. This is currently in pre-production. Why do we care? Because this time it stars the inimitable Nicolas Cage.
Just when you thought you couldn't get any worse.
I know. Yeah. So we'll have Nicolas Cage trying to outact God, I don't know if he could actually go that far, but he will try.
It might be so bad that it's worth a look. It just sounds awful.
This version looks like it will focus more on the sci-fi and occult aspects of the story, while dwelling less on the the preachiness of the books, I guess you could say. Kirk Cameron, in any case, he is now best known for his work through an evangelical website that he runs called The Way of the Master. It's a website where Christians can go to be reassured that the scientists are wrong and they all have a place booked where the fires are stoked and Satan's waiting. From the website, here's Kirk in an informative piece to camera with his buddy Ray Comfort, who's going to demonstrate to us once and for all the irrefutable evidence of God's existence using only the humble banana.
Hold this, Kirk. Behold the atheist's nightmare. Now, if you study a well-made banana, you'll find on the far side there are 3 ridges.
The sound of this is not great.
2 ridges. If you get your hand
what he's saying is not
you'll
great.
find on the far side there are 3 grooves, on the close side 2 grooves. The banana and the hand are perfectly made one for the other. You'll find the maker of the banana, Almighty God, has made it with a non-slip surface. It has outward indicators of inward contents: green, too early; yellow, just right; black, too late. Now, if you go to the top of the banana, you'll find, as with the soda can makers, they placed a tab at the top. So God has placed a tab at the top. When you pull the tab, the contents don't squirt in your face. You'll find the wrapper, which is biodegradable, has perforations. Notice how gracefully it sits over the human hand. Notice it has a point at the top for ease of entry. It's just the right shape for the human mouth. It's chewy, easy to digest, and it's even curved toward the face to make the whole process so much easier. Seriously, Kurt, the whole of creation testifies to the genius of God's creative hand.
It does indeed. So...
What about a pineapple?
Well, Gav, as we know, if you eat pineapple, that makes your semen taste better. So... in his infinite wisdom and his grace, God has made the thing almost impossible to get in at, because God hates women and gays.
Yes.
So, Gav, of course you know why God in his wisdom decided to make semen taste like bleach.
Why did he do that?
It's to remind your wife that when she's done, she should get on with the laundry.
Oh, man, we are so fired. We are so fired.
I am so sorry.
Nah, stick it, man.
This is Ricky Martin.
Oh, good choice. Straight to Ricky. Well done, mate. Yeah.
That's Ricky Martin. Come with me. There's an invitation you can't refuse. You're listening to Movie Groove on Energy Groove Radio, transmitting live from Sydney City and all around the world. Each week, we take a look at the oft-overlooked art of movie music from Hollywood and all around the world in a bit we call the sound of movies. Composer Carter Burwell is, perhaps, and regrettably best known for being the composer responsible for the orchestral score to the movies of the Twilight series. Well, as a fan, I can say from my heart that if we remove that awful soul-wrenching stain from his resume, it is a spotless roll call of Oscar winners, such as True Grit, No Country for Old Men, and Fargo, as well as stone-cold classics, such as Being John Malkovich, Barton Fink, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, and Miller's Crossing. In fact, Carter Burwell has so far scored every Coen Brothers movie ever made. That, my friends, is pedigree. That is the work of a true artist. And so for anyone who doubts, I can only say to you that one day, we who understand will look back on the damage that the Twilight movies have caused to the lives and careers of those involved, and know that it could have been avoided if we could only just have joined hands together and realized that author Stephanie Meyer was the thread that began the dreadful unraveling of pop culture as we know it. But we will return, my children. We will return and rebuild. We will rebuild the glory days of the early 80s, of Blade Runner, The Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and of course John Carpenter's peerless masterpiece, The Thing. Real movies, ladies and gentlemen. Intelligent, high-concept blockbusters that endure and continue to delight and amaze not just those of us who were there, but for each generation that came after. We will return, my brethren, arm in arm, marching as to the very walls of Jericho, proudly singing a love song from The Princess Bride. Our love is like a storybook story, and we will take back what is rightfully ours. Take it back from those who seek to turn our beloved genre flicks into the idiotic, masturbatory bum gravy that Stephanie Meyer and her legions of emotionally stunted acolytes have spawned from the depths of their fetid, depraved sessions of battering the bean to the stalker shot of the hunky football captain that never even looked their way because they were the fat chick with no friends, and we will return. And on that day, the great and glorious day of the rope, when twihards will swing from every tree, we shall make a pyre of their corpses, ladies and gentlemen, and as the flames lick the sky, we will cast off our clothes and we will sing with one voice, the voice of the late great Whitney Houston. I believe the children are our future, ladies and gentlemen. Make them laugh and let go of me. Ow! Don't tase me. Ow! 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 And before that, we had Carter Burwell with the main theme from the Oscar-winning movie Fargo by the Coen brothers. I've had a nap and a bit of a lie down.
A Bex and a good lie down, love.
Yeah, a Bex injected directly into my spine. So that worked. I can't move, but, we're still on the mic. So there's a win. Anyway, welcome back to Movie Groove. If you just tuned in, you're still on Energy Groove Radio. We're transmitting live from Sydney City.
Live from Sydney, Australia.
The greatest city in the world, and all around the world. As I've often told everybody, my favourite section of the Oscars every year is the In Memoriam section, but why should we have to wait for March when we can enjoy death every week? This is a segment that we like to call Dead for Reals.
Behind the clouds, the sun is shining. There's a big blue sky waiting right behind the clouds.
Well, you're dead now, so shut up.
In Dead for Reals this week, we say farewell to one of the comedy greats of yesteryear, Mr. Sid Caesar. Have we got a Sid Caesar impersonation?
No.
Yeah, all right.
No. But
thank Christ for that.
He did play the coach on Grease.
That's right, he did. You'll remember him as Coach Calhoun from Grease, but not as Coach Calhoun from Grease 2, because even if you did watch that piece of shit, you'll have buried it beneath layers of denial. Voted America's best comedian in 1951 and 1952, Sid was a Juilliard-trained sax player who later became a TV staple in the 50s on Your Show of Shows, as well as starring in comedy classics like It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. The first comedy ever to win an Oscar.
Yes.
And Silent Movie with Mel Brooks. Caesar's appearance in his first series, The Admiral Broadway Review, 1949, was a huge hit with television audiences. Simultaneously broadcast on NBC and the Dumont Network, now defunct. Its sponsor, Admiral Corporation, an appliance company, couldn't keep up with the demand for its new TV sets.
Wow.
So it became the first show to be cancelled due to being too successful.
Too successful. Well, we know that's what's going to happen to us.
That's what happened to Firefly. So anyway, Sid Caesar was 91, a passing McCormick great. We miss him already. Also in Dead for Reals this week is animator Jimmy T. Murakami. You don't know the man, but you might know his work. He directed the 1980 Star Wars ripoff sci-fi schlock classic Battle Beyond the Stars, produced by the undisputed king of low-budget, high-concept schlock, Roger Corman, starring Robert Vaughn, George Peppard, and the bubblicious Sybil Danning. Interestingly, it's just a retelling of the Magnificent Seven, which is a retelling of the Seven Samurai. But Robert Vaughn, I think, was in the original Magnificent Seven as well?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He played the coward.
So in this movie, he does his entire role from a set where he's in a spaceship. He doesn't actually join the rest of the cast, and he looks as bored as hell. So yeah, a bit of a paycheck for Rob there, but still, it was good to see him. But anyway, Jimmy, he's far better known for his animation work. In particular, he's the director behind the classic animated film adaptations of the beloved Raymond Briggs books, The Snowman and When the Wind Blows. Do you remember those graphic novels?
And Fungus?
Fungus the Boogeyman.
Yes.
That was right. That's the other one. It didn't turn that one into a movie because it was a bit dark. When the Wind Blows, which is not to be confusing with M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening, the original title of which was When the Wind Sucks. When the Wind Blows is an anti-war parable about an aged, retired couple living the good life in the English countryside, cut off alone after a full-scale nuclear attack. They dutifully follow the survival instructions provided in a laughable government-issued pamphlet called the Protect and Survive Guide, which the British government did actually circulate in the 80s when everybody was terrified of the bomb coming. And it had all these really helpful tips in it, like, paint the house white.
Duck and cover.
Yeah. Should one of your family member die, place them in a plastic bag and put them outside for collection.
What?
I know, man. They were, they were ready in a way.
Yes. Now, don't forget to put Bruce out. He's starting to stink up.
I'm pretty sure
the
that,
house.
yeah. So anyway, while attempting to live life as normal, the couple reminisce about their respective childhoods in the London Blitz of World War II as they unknowingly deteriorate slowly from radiation poisoning.
God almighty, Ducks. There's only 3 minutes to go.
Oh dear, I'll just get the washing in.
Shut up! I'm trying to listen.
Stay indoors.
Oh dear, I've left the oven on.
Get in! Get in! Get in!
The cake will be there.
So, if you're wondering, not a feel-good movie.
No.
But very touching all the same. It's a heartbreaking film, and it has music by David Bowie, Pink Floyd's Roger Waters, and Genesis.
Genesis.
And finally, in Dead for Reals, and for me personally, fans, this is kind of a tough one. Actor Christopher Malcolm. Christopher has an important part in a favourite movie of mine, 1986's Highlander, with Christopher Lambert, in which he played an ex-Marine and survivalist, Kirk Matunis, who interrupted the Kurgan during a duel with rival immortal Castigear by ventilating him with an Uzi. And
to the king, baby.
yeah, and was run through with a broadsword for his trouble. Others may also know him as Safi's gay dad, Justin, in Absolutely Fabulous. Did you see that one?
I have seen that. I love Absolutely Fabulous.
Mm-hmm. And but most, I think, will know him by this work and know it by heart.
Do you copy? Commander Skywalker, do you copy? This is Rogue 2.
Good morning. Nice of you guys to drop by.
Echo Base, this is Rogue 2. I found them. Repeat, I found them.
Yes, Rogue 2 has been hit. The selfless stoic Zev, who fell for the rebels in the Battle of Hoth, is gone. So Empire is one of 2 of my favourite movies of all time because I'm just a gigantic nerd. So I've watched this guy search for and locate Han Solo and Luke Skywalker amongst the frozen dunes of Hoth over and over and over again. So in an odd way, it feels like I've lost somebody important.
Lost a buddy, mate.
This time. Yeah.
You all right? You want a hug?
No.
You sure?
Well, only if it's, one of those ones where you put your hand in my trousers.
Put your hand
in my trouser.
I found him. Hands going down.
Hey.
There's no going back.
Katy Perry. Featuring Juicy J. I wish I'd thought of that name.
Jesse J.
No, Juicy J it says here.
Oh, Juicy.
Yeah, Juicy J. Jesse J is apparently another person.
Yeah.
So I guess they're going to have to fight over the name. What would that sound like?
I'm Juicy. I'm Jesse. I'm Juicy. I'm Juicy.
Sorry, I just love pressing these buttons. What else have we got? Oh, check us out.
Not my cans.
Make a lame joke.
What do you call a Russian person that tells jokes?
I don't know.
A comedian. That was the first joke I ever made up, thank you. I was about 6 at the time.
And you can tell.
It's gold.
Open a window.
First joke I ever made.
Oh, I need a shower.
Soak it in. Soak in the Gavalanche goodness that comes with the corn.
Anyway, we're
the corn and the cheese.
We're just about 3 minutes from the top of the hour. It's about
the
time
cheese,
for us to
the corn and the goodness
to get out.
is
Please stop.
Corny goodness with cheese.
It's about time for Gavin us to get out of your lives and let us get back to it. I was going to do a review of Lone Survivor's opening in Australia this week. It's been open for states in a couple of weeks.
Spoiler alert. What's the name of the movie?
Lone Survivor.
What do you think?
Sorry,
what do you think happens?
That's a massive spoiler.
What's going on there?
Yeah, so if you're wondering what happens in the movie, the spoiler is in the title uniquely.
Who's it starring?
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Guess who?
I met him.
Guess who the Lone Survivor is?
I met Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, hang on a minute. Every time you drop a name, I'm going to make that noise.
Well, yep. When he was shooting Boogie Nights,
yeah,
they wanted me for a creative consultancy and realism, because I used to party in the Club 77 back in the day.
We're already, sailing dangerously close to the wind.
Oh,
with
no.
those other comments that
I'm
we're
just
making,
saying that I was in there in New York at the time during the 70s, and
anyway,
I know what it was like.
So anyway, your old and good friend Mark Wahlberg is in Lone Survivor, as I said. It opens in Australia. It's a Peter Berg movie. Who, by golly, he just loves to chug military pork sword. That guy, he's well into it. He's a nutbag, Peter Berg. He directed Battleship, and when he was in Israel promoting the film, he actually started giving crap to interviews. He was saying to the interviewer, have you done your service? Have you done your national service? No, I didn't.
Damn it, I was in Nam.
That was the kind of thing. Have you done your service? And the guy's going like, well, no, I haven't done mine. And he says, well, you got to get out there, man. You got to get out there and defend freedom. What are you, a pussy?
What?
Yeah, I know. Live on air.
Isn't that Team America's job?
So he's nuts. Anyway, he's made Lone Survivor. I was going to do a review of the movie this week, but I watched the first 20 minutes and thought, you know what? I don't give a shit.
Oh.